The exciting part, the resolution or the decision of the Honorable Supreme Court on the issues raised by the parties before them. So let's see. Akong basahon na, and I will just insert some explanation, insights, or simplification if needed. Nindot mo di pagkasuwat nga decision, so it would be better if you hear it as it is or as it was written, no? So this court disagrees. Courts are vested with jurisdiction over the remedy and jurisdiction over the subject matter. So there are many types of jurisdiction. One of the types sa jurisdiction is ang jurisdiction over the subject matter. These types of jurisdiction may not be waived by the parties. Jurisdiction over the remedy is different from jurisdiction over the subject matter. So nindot kayo. Mas kinabugado ka, malingaw ka paminaw ani. Makalimot man gani ko ani. So jurisdiction over the remedy is different from jurisdiction over the subject matter. Jurisdiction over the remedy pertains to the court's competence over the process. This should not be confused with the relief that which the party filing the case wants the court to declare and which addresses the breach of the right or obligation. Okay. The source of jurisdiction is important. Generally, jurisdiction over the remedy is provided by the rules of court. Thus, it is mainly a procedural matter which this court, the authority that promulgates the rules of court, may change ad hoc or clarify the application or interpretation of in proper cases. Meanwhile, the source of jurisdiction over the subject matter is generally conferred by law. So, may difference, no? Jurisdiction over the remedy, the source is atong rules of court, no? The source of jurisdiction. But jurisdiction over the subject matter, the source is conferred by law as a general rule. This is why the doctrine is that this type of jurisdiction cannot be waived by the parties. Laws can only be amended by a subsequent law, and nothing that parties do in any case can change it. Thus, the question of jurisdiction over the subject matter can be raised even for the first time on appeal, not simply because it is jurisdiction over the subject matter, but mainly because it is the law that prescribes it. Parenthetically, subject matter in jurisdiction over the subject matter can refer to the cause of action, or the breach of legal right or legal duty, or the rest, or the thing over which the legal right or duty breach subsists. Bitik na akong dila. Subsist. Okay? Akong basahon balik ha, kay nindot kini. Even for me. No? Parenthetically, subject matter in jurisdiction over the subject matter can refer to the cause of action, or the breach of legal right or legal duty, or the rest or the thing. The rest or the thing. Rest as in Romeo, Echo, Sierra. Romeo, Echo, Sierra. The rest or the thing over which the legal right or duty breach subsists. In forcible entry or unlawful detainer actions, the subject matter refers to a breach of the general right to actual possession, which is an attribute of ownership, and the rest which is always real property. Always, ha? The key to the first issue in this case is therefore determining whether the 1-year requirement within which to file forcible entry or unlawful detainer is provided only by the rules of court rather than by law. No? You see, muna ako advocate ko aning mag-sharing wani because as I share it, I also read it. Even if nakabasa na ko ani sa una, di mo maalin nung duman permi. There will be times when you forget it and you read it again, you recall it. It refreshes your memory. No? So this is not only a learning from your end, it is also a learning or a relearning from my end. No? Again, so we proceed. Certainly, this pertains to jurisdiction over the remedy. Generally, therefore, objections to this type of jurisdiction must be seasonably made, meaning on time, no? Dili late In cases of forcible entry or unlawful detainer, the rules of court provides the 1-year prescriptive period. Under Rule 70, Section 1, a party may file a complaint for forcible entry or an unlawful detainer at any time within 1 year after such unlawful deprivation or withholding of possession against the person or persons unlawfully withholding or depriving of possession, or any person or persons claiming under them for the restitution of such possession. The Civil Code also provides the prescriptive period for forcible entry or unlawful detainer suits. Particularly, Article 1147 provides that an action must be filed within 1 year. Nonetheless, as supported in a line of cases, starting from the case of Tiham versus Sibong Hanoy, sikat kining kasuha, estudyante pa ko mo na dyan, the equity doctrine provides that despite the rule that these types of jurisdiction cannot be waived, the party that should benefit from the dismissal will be stopped in equity from raising it. In Tiham, in the case of Tiham versus Sibong Hanoy, it was a case previously decided by the Honorable Supreme Court where kaning jurisdiction and the defense of jurisdiction being defense of lack of jurisdiction belatedly raised. Mura siyang accept gyapon sa korte, no? If my memory is correct. This court held that even though questions on jurisdiction may not be waived, estoppel by laches precludes a party from invoking lack of jurisdiction when it actively participated during trial. Muna'y condition, when it actively participated during trial. Kay kung imo mo ning dawaton mo cheating masad hapit ta mahuman karon pa kamo pasaka ni nga dipinsa. Thus, the doctrine of laches or of stale demands is based upon grounds of public policy, which requires for the peace of society the discouragement of stale claims, and, unlike the statute of limitations, is not a mere question of time, but is principally a question of the inequity or unfairness of permitting a right or claim to be enforced or asserted. It has been held that a party cannot invoke the jurisdiction of a court to secure affirmative relief against his opponent, and after obtaining or failing to obtain such relief, repudiate or question that same jurisdiction. Good, diba? No? A party cannot invoke the jurisdiction of a court to secure affirmative relief against his opponent, and after obtaining or failing to obtain such relief, repudiate, no? Morbag ni baliktad lang kalit, or question that same jurisdiction. In the case just cited, by way of explaining the rule, it was further said that the question whether the court had jurisdiction either of the subject matter of the action or of the parties was not important in such cases because the party is barred from such conduct, not because the judgment or order of the court is valid and conclusive as an adjudication, but for the reason that such a practice cannot be tolerated, obviously for reasons of public policy. Nevertheless, the court pronounced in another case that the precedent set in Tiham is based on the doctrine of equity, which applies only in cases where jurisdiction was raised at the very last minute when the parties have already gone through long years of litigation. This court further held that Tiham will only apply the case of Tiham, no, the doctrine in the case of Tiham will only apply when given the circumstances of case, allowing the belated objection to the jurisdiction of the court will additionally cause irreparable damages and therefore injustice to the other party that relied on the forum and the implicit waiver. In Tiham, or in the case of Tiham, ako lang kumpletohon for ease of understanding sa atong viewers, this court ruled that long delay in raising lack of jurisdiction is unfair to the party pleading laches because he or she was misled into believing that this defense would no longer be pursued. A delay of 15 years in raising questions on subject matter jurisdiction was appreciated by this court as estoppel by laches. In this case, okay, petitioner is not barred from raising the issue of lack of jurisdiction sa kaninga kaso. So, the petitioner is not barred from raising the issue of lack of jurisdiction. It raised the issue when it filed its amended answer with leave of court before the municipal trial court in cities. So nanaday ni dito. Katong iyahang amended answer. Pero kung manduman to, no, what I can recall that it only raised the lack of jurisdiction sakto, no? Because it alleged in its amended answer that the case was filed beyond the 1 year time bar, no? So the right to file the case was the filing of the case was beyond the 1 year period. So nanade siya adtoy defense nga gi-raise sa iyang amended answer with leave of court before the municipal trial court in cities. Thus, the issue of the court's jurisdiction was seasonably raised. Nevertheless, even if the court's jurisdiction was seasonably raised, even if this court disregards the amended answer, petitioner's contention is not deemed barred by laches since it immediately questioned the court's jurisdiction without allowing trial to stretch into years. The unique circumstances in Tiham are absent in this case. As we noted in another case, raising the lack of jurisdiction a little under a year or even after the lapse of 4 years will not operate as estoppel against a party. Thus, a petitioner seasonably raised the court's lack of jurisdiction. There is neither waiver of the jurisdictional issue nor estoppel against the petitioner. So the Tiham, the exception doctrine, no? The doctrine in the case of Tiham versus Sibong Hanoy, exception to the general rule, no? It did not apply to this case. Bottom line, why? The factual circumstances are not the same, no? Naamon ni siya gitawag nato nga the principle of stare decisis. Sakto ba akong pag-pronounce? Na kung imong i-apply ang case precedent to a pending case, no? Atong i-simplify lang. Dapat pareha siya og circumstances. Ang facts ba mao-mao. Same og circumstances, same defense, same ang allegations sa complaint, same ang issues para mo apply ang ruling sa old case diha sa current nga case, no? So that was the first issue sa issue on lack of jurisdiction. So magbuhat ta og lain nga video para sa lahi na pud nga issue katong sa iyahang unod de jud, no? Naam nilain nga issue pa diri, di ba? Daghan tong issues gi-raise ang parties before the Honorable Supreme Court. So again, as usual, please send links para sa inyong contributions. 2025 updates, mga related sa real estate litigation or transactions, or succession, inheritance, heirship, partition among heirs, mga latest Supreme Court decisions. Okay po, links for kana sa mga darab cases, agrarian reform cases sa yuta, ang mga agricultural tenancy, saop, landowners, no? Kana mga retention limits, mga cases, updates, links, welcome kayo. Gov.ph website lang ang source sa link, ha? Ang ato adiri kay para sa yun nako pag-verify. So this is our co-learning channel. Our advocacy is learning, a way for us to learn how to avoid a land dispute. And if you are about to be part of a land dispute or you are already a part of any land dispute, to be able to find the way to choose peace, no? Peaceful means, peaceful ways, and peaceful ending. So you have my email, Viber, and WhatsApp. Pwede ninyo i-send ang link sa update nga inyo i-share na ko so that I can also share sa ato ang channel, no? Win-win. I get updated, I get to share to you. You can listen to the update after I verify it, after I authenticate it. Okay? So I will see you in the next episode.